welcome back to Love and Golf.
Thank you. Happy to be here.
A podcast about our twisted love affair with golf. I actually said the intro so many times that I can't even rehearse it. It's welcome to Love and Golf, a podcast about our something twisted love affair, whatever. But so
you love golf.
True, I do. It's a problem. Yeah, we got to be careful with iron too.
I was watching you.
I want people to know that this is. I'm excited to be here with you. I'm going to talk to the listeners for a sec, but then I'm going to focus on you.
Okay.
So this is for everyone listening. Trevor is a friend of mine. Truth be told, we recorded this podcast before. It was a phenomenal episode, but she lives in a high ceilinged house, which I'm looking at, and we couldn't hear her at all because it echoed. So now I'm here with her doing this live in person.
On my back porch, so it's not echoey.
So, yeah, we're not echoing. And we've got the Yeti mic, so we're good.
Yes.
Truth be told, I was sad. I can't sit too far back because the mic is here. I'm sad that we didn't get to air the first one because this was like, Trevor is the CEO, founder of DAYCLUB. If you guys don't know what DAYCLUB is, please pause, take a moment, go Google it. This woman, I'm talking as if you're not in front of me right now, is incredibly talented. In the intro, I mentioned you're a jack of all trades, but as DAYCLUB has grown, and you leaned into the passion in the building of DAYCLUB. You've kind of the journey. It's you're taking more time to focus on that. You've actually told your current employer that you don't want to do what you were doing to focus more on DAYCLUB, right?
Yeah, taking a step back from a lot of office work and daily grind of a 9 to 5.
Okay.
So doing more of I'm only building one house right now.
Only one.
It's a lot easier, a little bit easier to handle than building several and doing office work on top of that. So
for this episode, what I want to do to set the table for everybody, because this is going to be a powerful conversation that I want to have ongoing. I think when I have been blessed to meet with a lot of my friends, our friends, people in the golf community, they've already built their company. They've already built their brand. They've already done the whole content creation thing, and they've got 1 million followers or whatever. You're a special case because I see DAYCLUB and where it's going to go, but we're getting in, everybody listening, we're almost on like level 2, not ground floor, but like on the rise of what you're building. So this is going to be like an ongoing journey, I think, with you. And excuse the birds in the background. We are outside.
I don't think you'll be able to hear them.
I think you will.
It would be really nice. It's a nice touch.
It's almost like we're at Augusta, the little, yeah, which is around the corner. This will air in a few weeks, but Augusta is here. So I'm also king of tangents. So let's stay on track.
Okay.
Stay on track.
I'm here with you.
You're building DAYCLUB, and we get to we get to watch you build this and be a part of it. But I think the cool thing about our friendship and where you're at with DAYCLUB is we're going to be able, and hopefully you can share this, the struggles it's taken just to get here. Right? Because building a company, I've built a few, you built a few, you've been a part of friends that have built some. It's not as glamorous as one might think. So I want to talk about why you're doing this, how you're doing this, and even rewind the hands of time and go back to how did you choose golf and what is it with golf?
Sure.
Because that's the thread of all these episodes is my guess. I call it the inflection point. There's a point in time when you and the muse, this goddess that's golf, it bit you. When did that happen? And I think before we get into the story of DAYCLUB, let's start there. Your passion for golf. How did you love it and why do you love it?
Okay. I think that we kind of chatted about this a little bit earlier pre-podcast, but I feel like talking about my original, what's the word I'm looking for, moment that I found golf is very important to the point when I started DAYCLUB, right? Okay. So when I was learning golf, my brother was a big golfer when I was a kid, and I heard that you could get a great golf scholarship.
Oh, yeah.
If you played golf. So when I was in high school, I was a big softball player, played a lot of sports, was decent at sports. I was like, oh, I can pick up golf probably easily.
Yeah.
So that's what I did. I started playing golf and I was good.
Yeah.
I was good enough to get scholarships if that was what I wanted to do. You comfy?
I'm comfy.
Cool.
Getting cozy.
And this is what we were chatting about earlier is kind of why I started the brand in general. A lot of it comes from when I was in high school playing golf and the clothes sucked. There was nothing for us to wear.
But before that, like I know you told me your dad played?
My dad kind of plays.
But like, because it was been in your family.
It's really my brother. My brother is the biggest golfer in our family. He's like a 1 or 2. He played in college. He's a member at a great course in Atlanta. He probably plays golf every single day. Golf is his sport. Like he's an incredible golfer.
So you grew up with it. You grew up around it.
Yes, definitely. We didn't necessarily have the money to play a lot as a kid. But as I got older and I started playing on the high school team, I just played the courses that I could play for like our actual team course, which was Countryland. Shout out. I do a lot of shout outs to Countryland.
I like that.
If you're ever in Dawsonville, Georgia, it's a very interesting place.
So you're from the South?
Yes.
Grew up in Georgia?
Yes.
Brother played. It's in your house?
Yes.
Tell me though, you're avoiding the question, like when did you get bit by
this is what I was going to say. So I was
nobody grows up like saying, oh, I'm going to play the high school golf team.
Exactly. It wasn't like I loved golf when I was in high school. It was kind of I'm good at it and I can play it and I could potentially get a scholarship off of this.
Yeah.
Which would have been great instead of chose to go to Belmont and have a lot of student loans. But with that being said, as years went on, I was always playing because my friends played. And probably 2018, 2019, I started to play more often. And then 2020 hit, which is like everyone in the freaking nation. COVID happened and all anyone wanted to do was play golf. Mm-hmm. And luckily I was decent at golf. I had great clubs. So my brother and I went home. All we did was play and play and play. And I realized that I loved the sport outside of match play. I think match play kind of adds an extra pressure, especially as a kid, and it's hard to be good at golf.
It's very hard. And
it's way more fun to just say, I'm just going to go out and have a good time rather than, oh, this putt really matters.
Yeah.
Because when I go play, like yesterday, I went and played with some friends. It's way more fun to not be playing match play and like to just be playing for fun than for a score. I don't really care about my scores anymore. Okay. Whereas I used to have to care about my scores.
Yeah.
So it kind of made I actually learned to like the game. Whereas when I was playing for sport, it was more of pressure to play.
Yeah.
Because I was decent for the team, Yeah. And I had to qualify and I had to make scores. Whereas now, whereas now I don't have to do that. It's more fun just to go out there and hang out with your friends.
Yep. I get it.
So I think that I found more of a love for the game as an adult than when I was originally introduced to the game as a kid.
Mm-hmm. So
did that answer your question?
Yeah, it does. So let's cue DAYCLUB. And so, because I really want to get into, again, the purpose for me in this episode is people don't know how incredibly talented you are as a designer, as a businesswoman, as just a human. So let's, you guys can't see her. She's cowering away.
I am.
Because people don't know you like your friends know Trevor.
Sure.
So I have all the confidence in the world in you and DAYCLUB and where the business is going to go, not only because of the timing of it. Like, look at what the pandemic did to golf, but then look at how golf's growth is sustaining itself. And the largest segment of growth right now is the women's sector of golf. So you told me earlier when we were prepping for this, like some of the inspiration of it became when you were on the high school golf team and you're like, I was embarrassed by how I looked in golf clothes.
Right, exactly.
Tell me about that. Because I'm sure that has a lot of bridge into the whole spawning of the business.
Right. And I think also that has a lot to do with why I didn't love the sport as much as a kid.
Were you embarrassed to play it?
I was very embarrassed to play golf.
But did you like it at the time, or was it just a vehicle to get a scholarship? Truth.
I think I liked it because I was good at it.
Okay.
Yeah. So when you're good at something, it's hard not to like it.
People are going to like hate you right now because when people start golf, they actually suck at it and then work their lives to get good at it.
Yeah, but maybe you don't care. Like when you don't care, it's like, oh, I'm decent. I can hit the ball.
Maybe.
Go straight.
Maybe
not. I don't know. I'm really not that good though. Like I'm like a 14 now as an adult.
That's still not bad.
But yeah, when I was playing in high school, this is going to sound so bad, but the only people that played on the golf team were like nerds. Right?
I was a nerd then.
I guess I'm a nerd too. I'm still a nerd, but I was wearing Bermuda like khakis and ugly men's polos. And that was the only thing offered. Right. So there was no option to look cute to play golf. Right. And I wanted to be a cute human. What are you doing?
Bookmarking this so I can know when to use it. Yeah. That's a good little tidbit.
Yeah. I feel like playing golf as a teenager also, I mean, let's talk about being a teenager.
Mm-hmm.
It's hard.
Yeah. Fuck.
And then you add like ugly clothes on top of that you have to wear for your sport. Whereas when I was playing softball, it's a very different uniform and it's tighter and cuter. And then my golf clothes were
baggy and men's clothes.
Men's and grandma clothes.
Yeah.
So would I be proud to be sporting my golf polo to school? No. You know? So that probably added the aspect of not being in love with the sport as a teenager either.
Mm-hmm.
And then as time went on, I kind of fell away from the sport and then I came back to it, right?
Yeah.
In those later years, probably right after college. And because again, I was like in music too was a big part of my life for a while, still is, but golf wasn't as important until later on. And when I found golf again and started to fall in love with the sport again, or maybe for the first time, I went to all the stores and I was honestly surprised to find that nothing had changed. The clothes had not been fast forwarded to the fashion of today. It still was back in the early 2000s, you know?
Yeah.
So that's kind of when the idea sparked. And then I was kind of making my own rules on the golf course with clothes for a few years.
Yeah.
But still there was nothing that anyone was making out there that was specific for.
But you're feeling
golf.
The problem. Because I think a lot of entrepreneurs have a lot of the creation that we have as business owners usually stems from that point of problem. Like for you needing to create your own wardrobe, probably mixing and matching different brands, different things that were golf appropriate, but maybe not purposely intended for golf.
Exactly.
So that was the problem. It's like, I didn't know what to wear.
And also golf appropriate. Let's talk about that. What is golf appropriate? For men, it's so easy.
Yeah, that's a great question. I don't know what it is for women.
Yeah. For men, it's easy answer. I mean, I don't know if
polo, shorts.
Done. But maybe not shorts, maybe slacks.
Polo, shorts, slacks, whatever. Depends,
for a nice country club.
Yeah.
A lot of clubs won't let you wear joggers still. They're
really?
Getting there. Yeah. Should I name the one that I know you can't? Golf Club of Tennessee. I know you can't.
For men and women.
You're not allowed to wear a jogger at golf club.
Wow.
For sure. But with that being said, what is appropriate for a woman to wear on the golf course? I personally don't think you should be wearing Lululemon skirts on a golf course. I think they're too short.
This is actually a question that I have genuinely. So men at a country club, I think public golf is a different exception because anything goes there, right?
Yeah, it doesn't matter.
But for a country club, it's typically polo for men or slacks and shorts, right? What is the woman's dress code? Does a woman need a collar?
Technically, you're supposed to have a collar. Yes. And technically, I mean, you can't really tell a woman what to wear these days, right?
Okay, yeah.
But I think that there's an unspoken rule that you can't be wearing a very short skirt.
Yeah.
And there's also an unspoken rule that you should have a collar. I'm a traditionalist in that, to where I like a collar or a mock neck in general every time I'm on the golf course. It doesn't matter if I'm on a muni course or a country club. But there are rules. You can't wear leggings, you know? Why would somebody wear leggings on a golf course? It's not appropriate. But again,
you see it happen all the time.
Exactly. And
you see a lot of influencers, which will remain nameless because I'm sure they're in our community, that don't do it.
Which is fine because also the game's changing. So then you have that, push and pull of, do I want to be the traditionalist or do I want to keep up with the times and the changing times? But also, are leggings practical for the golf course? You have no pockets. You have nowhere to put your golf ball or your tees. Yeah. So then it's kind of an annoying outfit to wear on the course anyway. You might look hot, but.
Where was that point then where you're mix and matching clothes? You're getting frustrated. There's a big problem, ongoing problem. Mm-hmm. When you were like, fuck it, I'm doing this myself. Because that moment for a lot of people listening, Trevor, like that moment of courage to know that you have an idea, but to then start executing on it. Mm-hmm. I think that's the hardest moment. And so I want to speak on this. Like, I want you to speak about, take us into that process of, and again, I'm trying to make this as relatable as possible, mm-hmm. because I have a lot of ideas all the time that I don't even have enough courage in, enough knowledge on, or just ability to execute. Because you have to not only have confidence in the idea, but you actually have to know that you can somehow miraculously pull off the first step.
Yeah. I don't know. That's a good question, actually. I think when I originally had the idea, it was during COVID mostly. And I was home and I was playing a lot of golf and I was like, what else am I doing?
Mm-hmm.
You know, I mean, why not just try and go for something? And I also have a problem with when I say I'm going to do something, I always hold myself accountable.
The integrity piece. Yeah.
Yes. And if I don't follow through, I'm very disappointed in myself. And that's a very personal problem or a good thing to have. But if I'm telling the world that I'm going to start a women's golf clothing brand, I'm going to do it.
Yeah.
Which I really went for it, and I completely did all of my designs myself and created clothes. I could have just done hats and hoodies and called it a day, you know?
Yeah.
But that didn't seem like enough for me, you know, because that wasn't filling the need that I was trying to fill. So that's probably a very Trevor thing to do, is to say I'm going to do something and go and do it. You know, for most of my friends, I know a lot of people that have that setback of, I'm saying I'm going to do it, but something inside of me is holding me back.
Mm-hmm.
You posted something once, which I stole it from my Instagram. And it was, if you're releasing your product and it's perfect, you released it too late.
Yeah.
And that really stuck with me and made me feel better about my brand, because DAYCLUB isn't perfect. And for a while I had been really beating myself up about maybe not, I could have waited and made the product even better than it is now and then released it. But then would I ever released it? I don't know. So it's probably better that I just went for it. And now I'm working on new products that will be better.
Right.
Right. So at least the product's out there and I did the thing and I let it go. And now I can build my brand off of that. It's the same thing in music. It happens in music all the time. I have so many friends that say they're going to release music, say they're going to do the thing. And it's a very personal thing, music is. So that perfection holds people back. And I think that also has to do with business too, because I mean, it's the same thing with Mully. Mully's your baby.
Yeah.
Right. You want that to be perfect for the world to see.
Yeah. But
it's probably not,
yeah.
Unfortunately, but that's life, because life isn't perfect.
I think a lot of, you know, it's funny you touched on this, and I'm trying to come up with the words, but business is an art form. Like, people think that business, at least in my brain, like, people think business or you're an artist. Like, if you're an artist, you're not like a businessman. Like, I think there's so much, and maybe that's true. And I hope people don't rake me over the coals for saying this, but maybe it's true if you just want to go be a salesman or a marketer somewhere and that's just what you want to do, the security of a job. But entrepreneurialism is 100% artistic.
It's risky.
Not just that, but anything creating.
Creative.
When you create,
mm-hmm.
when you have an idea and you're creating something,
mm-hmm.
I don't care if it's music creation, art creation, business creation. If you're creating,
mm-hmm.
there is something that you're saying right now, which is like, I think everybody that creates wants it to be perfect.
Mm-hmm.
I absolutely want Mully to be perfect. In fact, I think we delayed the first couple launches of Mully because we knew it was so bad.
Sure.
But we eventually launched it, and I still wasn't happy with it.
Right.
Right. But yeah, you're right. Sometimes you just got to get on the playing field and let the actual consumer, let the audience, let the community help you, not dictate what you do, but help you mold and perfect the process.
Yeah. I struggle with that too, though. I struggle with friends of mine who will try on the clothes and pick it apart.
Yeah.
You know, and then
like I would send someone a version of Mully and be like, oh, the buttons are wrong.
Sure.
Yeah.
Sure. And that's hard to hear also, because that's the reason that you're getting held back of posting or like letting things go.
For
you
sure.
know,
Yep.
You don't want to hear your friends going, why'd you put the button there? Or like, why does it fit like this? You know?
Yeah.
So, I mean, it's scary to take a risk and go for something that maybe others wouldn't.
Uh-huh.
But also, why not? You know, you got one life.
So when was the official launch date of DAYCLUB? When did DAYCLUB first see the light of day and the cash register ring or wait to ring?
So I launched, this is a good segue.
Because I also want you to talk about this too. Like, people start things and they think automatically, oh, it's going to be a huge success or even just work. Like, it doesn't always happen that way.
Yeah. I'm a realist in that. Like, I know DAYCLUB isn't going to be huge yet. I know it's going to be a process. Nashville's a 10-year town, and I'm kind of taking that thought process into DAYCLUB as well.
What does that mean?
So if you work in the music industry or if you want to be an artist, the key is to stick around for 10 years. By your 10th year, you'll probably make it. That sounds crazy, but it's literally,
Wow.
there's so many artists here that by the time they get to that 10 year, they're on the radio. But it takes that much time from when you're here hitting the ground running in Nashville, doing the music thing, to when you've made it big. It's just what they say.
Why do you think that is? Do you think it's like the network? Do you think it's just the learning? Like why?
It's everything. Getting your name out there, getting people to know you.
Because I think it's very applicable to business, by the way.
It is, which is the way that I'm looking at DAYCLUB, right? I'm like, if I'm successful in 10 years, then that's my mindset. Yeah. I'm trying to get to the 10-year mark.
Yeah. Because
at 10 years, that's when in my head I should be where I would like to be.
Yeah.
I don't know what that looks like yet, but you know, with music, it's interesting because you come here, you start playing shows, you start writing songs, you start networking. Maybe by the fourth year, you'll get a record deal, but then you'll get shelved and then dropped.
Yeah.
And then by the sixth, seventh year, you'll get another record deal, or you'll get a publishing deal. And then by the 10th year, you get that number one hit.
Right.
It's a process.
Right.
So with DAYCLUB, I know it's not going to be the biggest thing. And honestly, Guy Raz, how I built this, I hear so many people go on that and they're like, I was so successful so quickly that I didn't know how to keep up with it and I didn't know what to do. I want to be prepared for that. So I'm trying to make it a slow burn as time goes on.
So for those who don't know, what's unique about DAYCLUB before we get back into the process of it? Because you've picked a very interesting path or interesting endeavor.
Niche.
Because, yeah, sure. Because golf's exploding, women's golf's going off, but like you're one of the first to see that women need better clothing. But it's not even just all women, because you see, and we're not going to pick them apart, but like Nike has a golf line,
sure,
right? Adidas has a women's golf line. Puma has a golf line, but like it's still not in your mind. What's the issue with that, and like where does DAYCLUB fit in?
Yeah, DAYCLUB is trying to merge all of those and make them specific for golf, right? Like there's things that all of them do right, and there's things that all of them do wrong. I mean, I'm not going to sit here and say that I can compete with a Nike or a Puma or an Adidas yet. That would be wild if one day I could, because they're massive. But one, price points. My biggest thing is what I talk about a lot is G4. I love G4. I think they do awesome things, but I think their price points are way too high. That's a personal opinion. A normal golfer who's just trying to get into the sport and wants to look cute, G4 is kind of a really awesome option for you, but their polos are what, $175? That's a very expensive polo. I saw a vest on there the other day that's $600. You know, a first amateur golfer isn't going to be able to afford a $600 vest.
Not even knowing if you want to like go golf all the time.
Exactly.
So DAYCLUB has a lot of also, was it crossover to like just everyday life? Like you could like the joggers you could wear out, the sweatshirts, the hoodies, the hats.
Mocks.
Yeah, it's not just golf. It's like golf lifestyle.
Yeah, I wore like yesterday. I had on my skirt and a pullover with like a polo under it, and I literally got inspo from that from a Pinterest post of a girl at a coffee shop, and I was like, oh, that's a cute outfit, and I have that in the entire DAYCLUB wardrobe, you know. So I mean, I did wear that all day long, and then I went to the golf course, so. It has that. You can go day to the course to nighttime vibe. The slacks also, I have so many friends the joggers. I have so many friends that work in business and they wear the joggers to work.
Actually, I think I asked you last time I saw you, I was like, I want a pair of the joggers. Can I get like an XXL?
I have so many guy friends that ask for them too. Eventually I'll go into men's clothes. The thing is though, women's clothes, they're not, I don't want to bash any other clothing line, you know?
Yeah.
But for what I was trying to do with DAYCLUB is merge the Lululemon vibe with golf.
Got it.
Right.
Yeah.
And Lululemon, I said this earlier, I think a Lululemon skirt's too short for a country club. I don't think I just think it's towing the line, and I don't like to toe the line. I want to be in etiquette on a course and look the part, you know, and actually take a nod to tradition. But what Lulu has in a workout skirt is amazing.
Yeah.
What they have in workout gear in general is amazing. So I would like to have that vibe, but for golf wear.
Right. That makes sense because you don't see men at a country club with Lululemon gym shorts on.
Nope.
Right?
Yeah. Exactly.
So I get it.
But Lulu has a great men's pant for golf, like the ABC pant.
Yeah.
Great pant for golf. Yeah. And then again, I love G4's vibe, but they're so expensive. I can't afford G4. I don't know how anyone else can afford G4.
That's a good point. I'm thinking about that. Like, I actually don't have any G4 gear. I've got a lot of golf stuff.
Yeah.
But I have no G4 stuff.
Their shoes rock.
Do they?
Their shoes are amazing.
I'm a FootJoy person through and through.
Are you?
Recently, not because of Tiger craze, but I have a good friend of mine that's at FootJoy. FootJoy.
Does he just send you stuff?
No, used to, not anymore,
okay,
but he's still great. Let's get back on track, Trev. God damn it.
Sorry. Oh, yeah. Well, let's also talk about how I had my new golf shoes in the car, and Mikey on the way here was giving me a very hard time about my new golf shoes.
No, I wasn't. I said they were cute. They're pink.
I feel like that was,
like
there was a lot of opinion in your word cute.
That's not true. Hot
pink's cool.
It is cool if you're into that color. Anyway, so I want to know this. So a lot of people probably that start something want to know why, because like I go to Simon Sinek, and a lot of the work I do right is the power of why, because the why keeps you going. The why, there are some guys and girls, everybody listening, like there are just days when I don't want to do it. There are days when, not anymore, because I think we're so far along in our process, but like there were days in the beginning where I was like, why am I doing this? Like it's too much.
Yeah.
I'm gonna shut it down. It's never going to work. The doubt creeps in, the worry creeps in, the haters creep in, and it just gets overwhelming where you just want to stop.
Yeah.
But then I had to lean into my why of mullion. But I'm curious, what is your why? Because I'm sure you're a year. How long are you in? When did you launch this vision?
Oh, that's what we were saying.
Yeah.
We were going to segue into how did I launch and why. How about I talk about how I launched and why?
Go for it.
At the same time.
Please.
Also, I love the why video from Simon.
It's great.
I watched it when I was in college, and I've literally lived my life by that.
I think I watch it like every quarter. I watch it.
It's good.
Yeah.
It's good. The why is important. I mean, that whole video, if you haven't watched it, people, go watch it. If you're starting a business. Okay. So when I launched DAYCLUB.
Talk to me about where was the moment where you knew you were going to start DAYCLUB? Like, I'm doing it, I'm starting it. When did you launch it? How did you launch it? And most importantly, like why? Like, what's the why that kept you going?
Okay. I launched DAYCLUB with a charity golf tournament in August 2021. And I launched with hats.
Of all things.
And an idea, basically. With that being said, a friend of mine runs a nonprofit in town, and I've done a lot of work with her, and I've always wanted to do a charity golf tournament. And the following she has in her community with the nonprofit is a very cool kids club. People in Nashville know of her nonprofit. They support her nonprofit. So I knew it would be an easy way to go in with a bang into the Nashville market. With that being said, I have lived here for a long time, so I have a large community here as well. So
yeah.
And most of my friends play golf. So it was an easy way for me to launch the brand. Right. And my thought process, I did want to have clothes for that ready to go, but you know how manufacturing goes. And it just wasn't ready. So I launched with hats and just an idea of what the brand was going to be. And let's see, why. Let's rewind to high school Trevor and how embarrassed she was to be on the golf course.
Oh, this is good.
Yeah. I think that when I was in high school, I probably could have gone and played golf truly competitively if all aspects were lining up to who I was as a human, you know, because I really care about, this is vain, but I really care about what I look like. And the clothes you're wearing says a lot about who you are as a person. And there were a lot of rules on what you could wear as a player in high school golf and in college golf.
Yeah.
So instead of doing that, I decided to come to Nashville and do music. Right. So that was more of who I was trying to be and the type of person I was trying to become than a golfer that wears ugly clothes. That sounds so bad.
I don't think I want to amend this a bit because I think I know what you're saying, and it's not vanity. I don't think as much as just being comfortable in your self appearance too.
Yeah.
Like, I don't think, by the way, I think a certain level of vanity, is that the right word?
Yeah.
To be vain to a certain point is not bad.
Yeah.
I think when you make looks your identity and everything about you, and that's your self-worth, I think that's not what you're saying at all. At all. I think it's perfectly fine to want to show up in the world comfortable and confident with how you look.
Right.
And what you're saying is like when the golf clothes and in the golf community, showing up as you were in that way, wasn't comfortable.
And I wasn't confident also.
That's
comfortable and confident.
That's
I'm stealing
fine.
that.
Go for it. I want credit on the website. But that's perfectly fine. That's not, I don't think that being vain to that degree, that level of it,
right,
is bad.
Right. So with that being said,
because you're going to compromise, sorry to interrupt you, you're going to compromise your own abilities because you're too, and people are like, well, you shouldn't be worried about what you look like. No, fuck that. Like, I really don't think, I think when you're that uncomfortable, it's hard to show up for yourself.
Yeah, I agree. I totally agree. So I stopped playing golf.
Because of that reason.
I mean, there was probably a lot of other reasons. I really did want to go and do music.
Sure at the time you're a teenager.
But I was a teenager.
It's easier to stop.
Exactly.
Yeah, I get it.
Way easier. And then it wasn't cool to be on the golf team. So, and then as I got older and I was playing golf more, I was so frustrated that the times hadn't caught up with fashion, right? Which we kind of chatted about earlier. And selfishly, part of my why is to have clothes that look good on the golf course.
Yeah.
For me to feel comfortable and confident on the golf course. And I think it is true. You know how people say if you're sick, if you like this is a woman thing, if you put makeup on and like shower, put makeup on and put on a nice outfit, you'll feel better about the day. Kind of the same thing. If I'm going to go out on the golf course and I'm looking like I'm put together and I have like something going on the golf course, I'll probably play better and have more confidence on the court.
Yeah.
So my why is a lot of helping women like me who probably played in high school and had the same thought process as I did, feeling put together and looking good on the golf course now as an adult and not having to wear grandma clothes. It's a lot of the women's golf clothes.
I respect that. I love that. A good buddy of mine, Cole from Metalwood Studio, he actually, their tagline is like, every match is won on the first tee. How you show up, what you look like.
Yeah.
So I know
that.
there's a little sassy and like kind of maybe like a little comedic, but I subscribe to that. If you are comfortable in how you show up, appear, and are, I think it reflects in your abilities. So I get it.
Yeah.
So,
sorry.
No, go ahead.
I was going to say that men have a lot of options.
Oh my God.
You guys have so many options and women don't.
Too many.
Of like men have a lot of options that also look good and make you look really cool.
Yeah.
Whereas women literally do not. There was nothing 2-3 years ago. There a lot of women's golf clothing companies have popped up in the last few years. But when I was looking into starting DAYCLUB, there was nothing. I would walk into the PGA Superstore and be so frustrated. So
how does that worry you, frustrate you from an entrepreneurial perspective that now there's so much more competition? No, why?
No, competition's good. That means there's a market for it.
So tell us about your brand. How is it different? That's what I'm curious to know.
Yeah.
So what's the differentiating factor? Because a lot, like you said, there are a lot of brands in fashion regardless, but I think consumers identify with the branding versus just the apparel. Like they buy into the ethos of a company. Like what is DAYCLUB about? Because that's it.
So I was thinking about this today. A lot of my life and the way that I live my life is my community. And part of DAYCLUB is finding your people and like your girl gang. I post a lot about girl gang on Instagram, like girls to go play golf with, you know, with you. And not only that, I mean, DAYCLUB, there's so many different avenues that I could go down with the actual brand. Clothing wise, let's talk about that. I just wanted simple things, you know, it's a Miguel song. I just wanted simple things of colors wise, because a lot of every other option out there is a floral, large print or super bright colors. Yeah. I think a lot of women these days just want it all black, you know, and all black is slimming also, which then goes back to the you look good thing. You know, every woman looks good in black. It's just a fact. And we all feel very comfortable in black. It's just a fact. So having those options of just the simple colors that you can mix and match. And if you buy 3 pieces, you have like 6 outfits, you know? Yeah. So everything can mix and match together. Yeah. And then for the brand wise, what I'm trying to build is that girl gang, finding your crew kind of vibe on the golf course and being like cool girls at the club kind of vibe.
Yeah. And you've already had, I'm going to plug you for a sec. You've already had a lot of success in your community. You know, Hannah, Amateur Hour Wears DAYCLUB. You've gotten a lot of notoriety from your peers, from people in golf. What do you think they like about the brand? What do they identify with?
You said this earlier, that you think that people identify with the person who is the brand.
Yeah.
I mean, people buy into who it is, not necessarily like the why, but who it is, not necessarily what it is.
Right.
You know?
Yeah.
What I do in Nashville, I hate saying stuff like this because I feel very narcissistic. But what I do in Nashville is I try to build community. And a lot of that comes from the golf tournament. So like this year, we're doing our 3rd annual golf tournament, and people have already been calling and asking, when is it going to be? They want to make sure they're here. They want to make sure they are at the event because it's such a fun, community-driven event that's for a good cause.
Yeah.
And all the people that go are just like, we're all friends and buddies. And that's another thing with your crew. You know, if you lean on your crew, they'll also lean on you, and a rising tide lifts all boats kind of thing. That's cool about the Nashville community too. I think Nashville's amazing in that way, that everybody's trying to help each other and lift each other up, you know, in business. I lost my train of thought talking about community.
No,
I'm big on community.
I think you answered it.
Okay, good.
Yeah, I think you like so people, when they, like your friends that are they're not helping you where they like the brand, right? They're not helping you, but I
hope so.
No.
But also they're my friends, so I think that they would still post about it and like say they liked it, even if it sucked. Yeah. Which I would do the same thing for them. Yeah. You know.
So let's talk about, in the little time we have left, I want to talk about the key breakdowns you've worked through, because I think, again, the point of the entrepreneurial process, that for those first few years are so fucking grueling, and there's so much doubt, and there's so much resistance, I call it, that resistance. What have you faced that you can share, that you faced in the first year, 2 years, that you've had to persevere through? And after, I always say as an entrepreneur, like you have to break down to break through.
Sure.
Right. So what breakdowns have you experienced, and what are the breakthroughs that have come from it?
Okay. So I do want to say this, that there is nothing wrong with having a steady job to build your passion.
Can I TV time out this for a second? I absolutely agree with you. I forget who I was talking to recently, and I still consult because Mully doesn't make money, right? Freemium. I had another person he has a business in his 5th year. He still has another side hustle that makes money.
Sure.
I think there's a false notion that you have to go all in.
Agreed.
You have to go all in emotionally. You have to go all in mentally. You have to go all in. I'm getting closer to the mic, so I'm getting really fucking amped up.
He's really excited.
You have to go all in your heart, in your soul, and your being. You do not have to go all in like financially and
no. And if somebody is saying that they're all in financially in the first 2 years of their business, they're lying.
Yeah.
Or their family has money, or they have money in general for somehow their job previous or whatever it may be.
I agree.
There's no way that you're just immediately successful in making a ton of money.
Nope.
I mean, if they are, more power to those people. I want to know who they are, and I want to be their friend, and I want to learn from them.
I've been doing this game a long time. I've been an entrepreneur since I could really sell something at like 18 years old. But for real, like in the business world, I started my first company at 25. I'm 38 now. Like I started 4 different companies. And I have friends. I mean, in the entrepreneurial world, like I've been a part of this a while. Nobody, unless you get significant amount of funding, which those days are gone.
Sure.
Right.
Yeah.
You get a lot of funding. You can employ yourself day year 1. So no, it's a lot. It's got to be a lot like being a musician artist. You see people, actors busting tables. Like
that's what I was going to say.
You're busting your ass still. Yeah. Yes.
You are waiting tables. Yes. You are a hostess somewhere. You are retail.
Yeah.
You are not going all into music.
We are in a day and age now where people have to stop thinking that funding is the rescue, or you can quit your job and just do it full time. No, exactly. If you're an entrepreneur now in the 21st century, it is nights and weekends, and you are still working your ass off. So sorry, no, I had to.
So no, with that being said, I mean, the first few years I've been, I have been working in construction for a really long time. That's family business. I work for a builder in Nashville. That's what I do. That's how I make money. And that's not going to go away for a while until I absolutely can. But I have taken a small step back from that company. I'm still building, but I'm not doing as much as I was so that I can put more time into DAYCLUB. But the first, if it's 2023, it's early 2023 though. So DAYCLUB's been a thing for like a year and a half, not that long.
Okay.
So in the first year and a half, I was full time at another job, working, making money, and doing day club on the side, which I think has this is where doubt comes in also. I don't think day club is where it should be right now. But how can your business be where it should be if you're not putting full time into it? It's a push and pull for sure.
It's a double-edged sword.
It's tough.
I think, and it's funny, in my partner, Steve, who you know, and Mully, we set kind of, not expectations, but like benchmarks, milestones we wanted to get to. And I had to temper him, be like, yo, we're not going to be here. But I still think you need, and his point was, you still have to have aggressive enough goals where you don't get so lax in the process, where you're not being, like hungry, aggressive. So yeah, there is a very fine, delicate balance or line that you have to walk down that's aggressive enough, but not going to deter you or discourage you from keeping going.
Yeah. I don't think I had, wow, this is really getting a little bit vulnerable with my business. I don't think I had aggressive enough goals in my first year, because a lot of that was fear, right? Like I was afraid that I would be, this is going to sound bad, I was afraid that I would be more successful than I was ready for. So I held back, which I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing. I think I've listened to too many people that have been like, I had way too many sales and I couldn't keep up. And I personally didn't have the capital.
People said that, or people that are bragging you said that? Oh, podcasts.
But
so I first...
somebody's at my house.
Oh, we have a guest.
We do have a guest.
I want to just thank you for saying that, because I have listened to too many people that have talked the talk, but give it time and you see that they were full of shit and didn't have it.
Right.
I know, and I'm not going to mention names because it's not polite, but I specifically know someone in the golf industry right now that people think they kill it. And I got to look behind the curtain, and you're like, oh, you think they kill it because when they do these drops, they have like a quantity number of 5, but you think they had 500, but they sell out in five seconds because they have 5 items, and guess what?
Oh, sure. Yeah.
So,
yeah, that's actually a really good point.
People, there's also, I have a mentor, and sorry to interrupt you because this is your episode. We're talking about entrepreneurialism, which is a big topic for me, but there's a good friend and mentor of mine that says, I got this one. Sorry, I got to go this way. This one. Make sure you do it so I can talk.
Go.
Okay. There's a mentor of mine that, and this is important in the entrepreneurial venture, entrepreneurial spirit mind. He says, too many people fake it till you make it. And it's not fake it till you make it. It's almost be it till you see it. One, faking till you making is adopting like this false way of operating, versus be it till you see it. It's almost channeling that.
Manifesting.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm big in the manifestation thing too. Hello. Tools. I think I might have that problem. It's not, but I'm glad you said that, because I'm not fake it till I make it. Someone recently said to me that my Instagram makes me look bigger than I actually am.
What does that even mean? Wait, your personal one or Day Club?
No, Day Club's Instagram, which honestly, I kind of take as a compliment, because I'm very lucky, and 2 of my very best friends are professional photographers, and they're badasses. And they do. You're going
to shout out your country club? You won't shout out them?
Jessica Studham and Jessica Amerson, my girls. They're literally my besties, and they do all my content, and bless their souls, they give me crazy discounts, even though I try and pay them full price, which also most of the time I do pay them full price, because I think it's silly to not pay your friends.
Another great topic we should talk about, guys.
Entrepreneurship, not supporting your friends and not paying them full price, trying to get free things from your friends. Because they're trying to build something, you're trying to build something, pay your freaking friends.
Especially, time out. This is going to be a tangent episode, people. So if you can't handle with this, you might not want to like the Love and Golf podcast. It's just what's going to happen. I completely agree with you, because it's one thing if you're someone of, let's just say, status with influence, content creator influence, and hold on, no, okay. but they may not want it, but you want.
You want to give it to
yes.
Sure,
sure. That's one thing for exposure.
Sure.
Okay. But I'm not anyone of status, nor am I an influencer of any degree.
Right.
But if I like a friend's thing, like for example, I'm going to give Cole a thing. Cole, I bought his Above Snakes FootJoys full price wasn't given to me.
Yeah.
I want to support my friend, didn't ask for him. Like I was like, hey, I want to make sure I copped him, paid full price, because support your people doing good things.
Right.
If I didn't get those, guess what? I'm still going to go to FootJoy and buy them full price anyways.
But it's not even that. It's not support your people doing good things. Support your people that are going out on a limb and taking a risk and starting a business. Yeah. It's so hard. It's so difficult. And when you take that risk and your friends don't support you, that hurts. Like as a friend in your friendship, that's hurtful.
Yes.
You know, and then you also are seeing who your real friends are, the friends that are going online and buying your hoodies or hats or subscribing to your podcast or downloading your app, like all of the things.
Yeah.
If your friends aren't doing
this? How about this, girl? How about just sharing something to stories?
Sure.
How about liking a post?
Yeah.
Like I don't understand why people like in the mentality I have, Trev, is like I think we are cut from the same cloth. Like abundance is fucking abundant. Mm-hmm. Like you can win. Everybody can win.
Jinx.
Can't talk now. All right, let's get on. Sorry, let's get on top. I apologize, everybody.
Well, no, I think that was good. I think a lot of this this is beneficial for anyone that's starting a business, just talking about, and not even people who are starting business, people who have friends that have businesses and telling them that they should be supporting their friends. Yeah. Which if they're a good friend, they are supporting their friends. This is big in music as well. I mean, every single time my friends release music, I am their number one fan.
Streaming, sharing.
Number one freaking fan. Not even that front row of a show. Yeah. I'm singing every single one of your lyrics. Love it. Because I care more about what my friends are doing than freaking Lizzo. I don't fucking care what Lizzo's doing. I care about what my friend Lee is doing down the street. Yeah. You know, like it's so much more important to care about your friends because they're the ones that you know personally. Yep. They're in your core 150 people. Yep. Why do you care about what other people are doing when like you can support your friends and lift them up? Again, rising tide lifts all boats.
Guys, I love it.
We're tangenting.
No. I want to just take a quick second. Like,
come closer.
I want to make sure.
Lawnmower.
I wanted to make sure, like, guys, like, and maybe I'll edit part of this to be in the beginning. Like, I understand. You may not know Trevor, you may not know DAYCLUB, and you may not really care about female golf, but if you care about entrepreneurialism, you care about good people going out on a limb, creating a company and putting themselves out there, this episode is for you. Just take a listen, give it a chance, listen to how powerful this woman is and what she's going to do in the space. And even if you're a male that has no interest in women's golf whatsoever, maybe you have a wife, a sister, a girlfriend, somebody that can benefit from this episode. If you're not on the entrepreneurial side, just give it a shot because I am a huge fan of you and and what you're doing. So with that said, let's get into the episode or back to the episode.
Well, I do have a thought off of what you just said about men, saying that they might have a sister or wife or a cousin or whatever that might want to play golf. It's been really cool the past few years seeing so many of my girlfriends feel comfortable playing golf and like getting out on the golf course. Because I feel like a lot of women are very afraid and what's the word I'm looking for? Intimidated. Yeah. Thank you. Yeah. We had it at the same time. Yep. A lot of women are very intimidated by the golf course because it's been a man's sport. Yep. I am very lucky. I have no fear in the men's world. I work in the construction industry. I have a golf brand. I've always been very comfy in men's industries. And a lot of that has to do with my parents and the way that they raised me. Yep. And probably having an older brother as well. But the past few years, seeing so many of my friends get into golf, and this is also Hannah. I mean, just in general, seeing women's golf being cool, golf in general being cool is very refreshing because it is such a cool sport. And I kind of want to talk about also how important it is to get outside. And golf is one of those things that makes you get outside and makes you hang out with your friends, and you get out in the sun and the fresh air and you're doing something, you're moving your body, so it's good for your mental health, all of the above. The fact that like DJ Khaled is playing golf these days and saying all these things, watching all that.
Oh my God, it's fantastic.
But honestly, he posted a thing, I think yesterday or the day before.
This is like my gym. This is my space. Yeah,
exactly. And that's kind of golf for a lot of people. And a lot of people are starting to realize that and are wanting to play golf and wanting to get out on the course, and women especially more than ever, because who doesn't want to be outside with their girlfriends, drinking some wine, hitting a little pink golf ball at the fairway, Yeah.
So
even if you're girlfriend or wife or sister or whoever or mom doesn't play golf, it doesn't mean that she's not interested. It doesn't mean that she wouldn't want to get out there with you.
And I think you do a great job, and tell me to buzz off if I'm wrong about this, but like, because Day Club isn't so like golf in your face, like Nike golf is, or Puma golf is, like,
Sure.
because there's so many lifestyle pieces, like looking at you right now wearing a Day Club hoodie, right? Like, that could be the first piece they get that bridges into the whole line, right?
Sure.
There's more lifestyle pieces you can buy, like the hat. I've seen guys wear your hats.
Yes.
So I love it, because that's like, it's like a gateway drug into the whole Day Club apparel world.
Well, the issue that I started to see is a lot of my guy friends wanted to support the brand.
Yeah.
So I was like, I need to make unisex things. You know, I have to have things that my guy friends can wear, because also literally Mikey met one of my friends because he was wearing a Day Club hat, which is amazing.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, eventually
That's
I would,
so cool.
I know, eventually I would like to go into men's clothing as well. It's just way oversaturated and not the niche that I'm trying to focus on. Yeah. So I mean, one day if I ever, you know, make it freaking big,
you will.
Then I could do a men's line too. But women's is what I'm focused on now. And I think it's cool that you're saying that I'm not just golf, you know, I'm more than golf.
Well, look at the logo. It's like, it has like a very,
it's kind of golfy. It's got like,
but that's about it. But if you don't look at it, it almost looks like it's like a Vegas beach club vibe, you know, like a Miami beach club vibe. It's like, it's cool. Like I could see how this could go into so many different arenas of just, like, for example, was it like Chrome Hearts was a biker gang thing and it became cool mainstream?
That's
it's like
cool. Yeah. That's a very cool analogy that you just made with Day Club. I appreciate that.
Yeah.
I would love for that to be people's perception of the brand. Honestly.
I think the style, the coloring, I mean, because I think phase 2, let's talk about that. So now you've done the first phase. You've had a lot of, I should say a lot. You've had a few breakdowns, perseverance, tapped into your why, showed up, leaned into your community, right? So phase 2 is what? So now that we're on the rise in the company, you have a following, you have customers, you have email lists, right? Is it production? Is it new cuts, new lines? Like, what is next?
Yeah, it's hard. So this is kind of where I'm at a tough place right now in my business.
And so also another question to ask you, I want you to talk for a little bit. Do you have mentors in the fashion space? Do you have people advising you? Like, that's part of the question.
My biggest advisor is my dad.
Yeah.
He's very successful in business. Yes, it's construction, but business is business, you know? So I run every single thing by him. I wish I had more mentors in the fashion industry. I don't really have too many. I've just kind of been flying by the seat of my pants, honestly, just figuring it out as time goes on. I see you thinking, if you know anybody, let me know. Because I do think that I could benefit from talking to someone else in the industry. With that being said, I've kind of just gone for it with Day Club, you know, which I've learned a lot over the past few years. So phase 2, now I'm working on my next line that is, again, going back to I launched my first line and yes, it wasn't perfect, but I'm learning. And now my next line I know will be even better. And it's more me and it's more actually the vision that I want for the brand, you know? But capital is an issue, obviously, with business, and the state of the economy is questionable right now.
Yeah.
So that's a big question mark for me, but that's not going to stop me, right? Like I'm going to make this next line. So I kind of have goals to where I can get to where I can produce the next line. Business wise, just pre-selling, selling the clubs, that kind of thing. I'm really focused on selling into as many country clubs as possible this year. Since I've stepped back from my company, I can now, 9 to 5, I can now spend more time traveling and selling to country clubs, because country clubs, I don't know how often you're shopping the women's section in country clubs.
Not often, but you never know.
Yeah, it's okay. Some of them are okay.
So there's a void there. So I'm trying to fill that. That's kind of my goal for 2023 by the end of the year, to be in as many clubs as possible. And then just keep slowly but surely, slow burn, building the brand. I do have a cool collab that I'm really excited about this year too, which will be more like day streetwear, men's and women's wear. Can you share on that, or is that a secret?
I'm launching it at the golf tournament this year.
Okay.
It's with a lifestyle brand, like streetwear brand from Atlanta.
Okay.
That one of my friends owns.
Cool.
So I'm excited about that because I think that'll bridge another
exposure, help.
Yeah. And it'll bridge another gap of men's kind of within the Day Club family.
Yep.
You know? So yeah, there's a lot going on this year.
Okay. So I have a couple questions to wrap because I want to be sure. I want to piecemeal this out. I want to check back in. Not that you're a friend of mine, but I want to do another episode if you're up for it in a few months. Do like a check in to see the progress, all that.
That will hold me accountable. I love it.
Yeah. No. And plus, I want people that are listeners and friends of Mully and the podcast to support this and be a part of the journey. I think let's let people in on this, like a behind the scenes look how I built this as we're building it.
Yeah.
As we, the community. So, so let's do that. But in closing, I want to do a couple of things. One, I want you to tell me what's in the bag. Not yet, just what's in the bag. What are you currently gaming? What's your setup? What was your first ever, hold on. Okay. What was your first ever like grail piece? Like the one club you grew up with, maybe high school golf piece that you grew up with? Do you still have any of the high school golf apparel in your wardrobe, in your closet? And last question is, please, to wrap, take the mic and thank the people you want if you'd like to.
Okay,
and give them shout outs, give your community here, your people here, your parents, anyone who supported you in this journey of golf and life. Do that. So
cool.
Go. What's
in the bag? I hit Callaway's. Pretty much everything I have in my bag are Callaway's.
Shout out Callaway.
Actually. Yeah, surprisingly. Wow. I don't know why I hit them all. I had a big Christmas present this year because I was hitting my high school driver.
Stop it.
My entire life up until Christmas this year. Actually, January this year. I was hitting the same driver. It was tailor-made. I don't even know what the fuck it was. Excuse me, Mom, if you hear me curse. Yeah, so I was hitting like a tailor-made. It was my brother's driver.
Okay.
Up until I was in the 8th grade.
Yeah.
And then I took it.
Yep.
And they put a new shaft on it. And I've been hitting that same driver with the same shaft since I was probably in the 8th grade.
Wow.
So I got a new driver, Callaway Rogue.
That's also that grail piece. You answer 2 questions with 1 stone.
Yes. Yep. So now I'm hitting Callaway Rogue Mitsubishi shaft, and it's sick.
Ooh.
And I am hitting it way straighter and way further than I ever thought I could hit a drive.
Technology is interesting, right? Technology actually works.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy. Honestly, though, when I was getting fitted, the guy was watching me hit the driver that I had, and he was like, I'm very surprised you hit this as far and well as you hit it. So that's the one piece that I still had in my bag up until this year from high school.
Awesome.
Everything else I replaced over time. So, yeah.
Okay.
What else?
Shout outs. So everything, people know what's coming, but I know from one entrepreneur to another, and anyone listening, please don't feel like you have to do this on your own. I think it's impossible to be a one-man army.
Oh yeah.
Support comes in a lot of forms. It can be, like I said, sharing something. It could be someone, letting you sleep on their couch for a week. God knows I've done that in my life. So just the people that have helped you get here, that have helped you fall in love with golf, that first portion, and then also with DAYCLUB.
Okay, falling in love with golf will be my brother. My brother and I have bonded so much over golf in the past few years, and we have grown. We are best friends now, and that probably wouldn't have happened without golf. So I think that's a really cool thing about our relationship. And he pushes me to be better with, first of all, just golf, playing golf in general, and with the brand. And he's a big fan of the brand. So my brother's my best friend.
I love that.
And then my parents, of course.
Yeah.
I mean, DAYCLUB couldn't be a thing without my parents. They're entrepreneurs. They know what it's like to start your own company and push yourself to start your own company and do the thing. So, my mom and dad rock. Literally. I'm very, very, very lucky to have the most incredible family. We are so tight. Let's see who else. Natalie for letting me launch the brand with a charity tournament and for continuing to let me put on this charity tournament for her nonprofit. I know she gets money out of it, but still she trusted me to host something with her name on it. So awesome. I think that's really kind.
Yeah.
And bringing her community into the brand. I feel like I would be rude to not say Sean, my wonderful boyfriend. It just would be rude because he sees me through a lot.
Sean's great.
He is great.
He's great.
He's number one for sure. Hannah, probably, because she has been very important in my DAYCLUB growth and with golf in general. She puts me in front of a lot of people and supports the brand in a lot of different ways.
Yep.
So just having her on my side is really nice, even though sometimes she can't really, because of rules with her work.
Sure. Yeah.
She can't really post a lot, but she still throws it in there when she can.
That's badass.
Cool. Yeah. Mikey.
Hey.
For letting me be on the podcast.
No,
but honestly, seriously, like you've had so many cool people on, and I've been watching and listening as you've posted them, and I literally had a bit of imposter syndrome too when I was thinking of being on the podcast yesterday, because I was like, he has so many cool people on this thing, and the fact that he invited me to be on it is really cool. So.
I meant what I said. I really think I believe in what you're doing. I believe in the void you're filling, and I think let this be a success story as we all grow with you. Let everybody that's supporting Love and Golf and Mully and DAYCLUB, let them into this journey. And I think this is one of the most powerful episodes, because they're going to see the breakdowns. They're going to learn about the brand now and see you grow. And that's, I think, cooler, in my opinion, than doing how I built this, 3 years into success.
Yeah.
So and plus I just think it's so difficult to build anything. The courage you have to have, and the courage you have to sustain. That's why, lean into your family, lean into Sean, lean into your brother, lean into Hannah, those people that get it. And me, like I get it. So you're dude, I'm a fan.
Well, thank you for the kind words and having me on, and thanks for doing it again, because I know the first one, my high ceilings messed up. So,
well, my dear Trevor, we'll check back in a few months. I'll see you. We'll play golf out here, but want to thank you guys. Thanks for listening. Please go support her and the brand. What's the handle? We Are DAYCLUB, or
Wear
DAYCLUB?
Yeah,
Where?
At Wear DAYCLUB.
At Wear DAYCLUB. Yeah, I saw We Are, but yes. So when it looks like it. Wear DAYCLUB.
Yeah.
Personally, you want them to follow you personally or no? Okay, let's pick.
Rather than follow the brand.
I respect that.
If you want to see more about my life, you can follow my personal Lee Trev, Leigh Trev. But it's a lot of me and Sean and me being silly. So.
If you guys have questions, want to support her, questions about how she built this, how she's building it, please do not hesitate to reach out to her at Love and Golf, anything. We are here for the community. She's just like me in the sense that, we want to enroll everyone into the process. So thank you guys. Appreciate you listening, and we will see you on the next episode.